This is Retro Sports Radio. Visit RetroSeasons.com for more sports history.
On Sunday, July 22nd of 1962, the New York Mets faced the Cincinnati Reds at Crosley Field in Cincinnati for a scheduled doubleheader. The first-year expansion Mets were coached by Casey Stengel and were well on their way to the worst season in MLB history, with already 70 losses in July. The Reds were the defending NL champions and entered this game with a 54-41 record under manager Fred Hutchinson. This is the local New York broadcast of Game 2 of the Twin Bill, featuring Mets announcers Bob Murphy, Ralph Kiner, and Lindsey Nelson.
Now here are the lineups and batting orders for the second game today. For the New York Mets, Richie Ashburn will be in right field leading off. Charlie Neal will be at second base, batting second. Jim Hickman in center field, batting third. Frank Thomas in left field, batting cleanup. Ed Boucher will be at first base, hitting fifth. Rod Keneal playing third base and batting sixth. Elio Chacon will be at shortstop, hitting seventh. Chris Cannizzaro behind the plate, batting eighth. Pitching and batting ninth, Bob Moorhead. For Cincinnati, Eddie Casco will play third and bat leadoff. Don Blasingame will be at second, batting second. Vada Pinson in center field, hitting third. Jerry Lynch in left field, batting cleanup. Frank Robinson in right field, the number 5 hitter. Gordy Coleman will be at first base, batting sixth. Johnny Edwards behind the plate, hitting seventh. Leo Cardenas playing shortstop, batting eighth. Pitching and batting ninth, Moe Drabowsky. Freddie Hutchinson, with the Reds coming from behind to win the first game 11-4, electing to gamble with Moe Drabowsky in the second game today, that he might have a well-rested Jim O'Toole to open the important 4-game series against the Pittsburgh Pirates here in Crosley Field tomorrow night. The umpiring assignment in the second game, Dusty Boggess behind the plate. Stan Landis will be at first, and Vinnie Smith will be at third. Well, if it's as hot wherever you are as it is out in the Midwest today, you'll be looking around for a way to beat the heat. And you know, if you're stocked up on Rheingold Extra Dry, you don't have to look any further than the refrigerator. Yes, sir, Rheingold is just the thing you need on the hot days to stay cool and refreshed. Rheingold has a taste all its own. A taste that's brisk and bright and clean clear through. It quenches your thirst because it's extra dry. Those two little words, extra dry, tell you that Rheingold is brewed the long, slow, costlier way for that clean, brisk, extra lively taste that is Rheingold's alone. But why not find that out for yourself? Pour yourself a tall, cold glass of Rheingold Extra Dry and enjoy the game refreshed. On the mound for the Cincinnati Reds, right-hander Moe Drabowsky. Moe has 1-2 while losing 5. Has been used mostly in relief, although as an occasional spot starter by Freddie Hutchinson. For Drabowsky, this will be his 21st outing of the year, the 9th time that he has been used as a starting pitcher. Moe has worked 72 innings, given up 68 base hits. So it's Moe Drabowsky against Bob Moorhead in the second game of today's doubleheader. In other games, in a single game at Pittsburgh, the Giants downed the Pirates 5-4 to win the rubber game of the series, with Marichal the winner. St. Louis leading Houston 3-1 at the end of an inning and a half. Gibson against Bruce. Braves beat the Phillies 11-10 in the first game. They're just going now in the second game. Braves did not score in the first. After 6 innings, the Los Angeles Dodgers lead the Chicago Cubs 13-6. Washington beat the Yankees 3-2 in the first game. It'll be Daniels against Boughton in the second. They're in the 9th inning in Boston. The White Sox lead the Red Sox 7-3. And the Orioles, with 4 in the 8th inning, now lead the Twins 8-3 in the last of the 8th. Moe Drabowsky out of his windup, and the second game is underway. A Baltimore chop off the plate. Waiting for it is Casco. The throw is done in time. And Richie Ashburn is on with an infield hit on a Baltimore chop. The ball took a real high bounce going off the plate down toward third. Ashburn on first, nobody out. That brings up Charlie Neal. Charlie did not play in the opening game. In the first game, Mantilla was at second. Mets led the opener 4-1, but Cincinnati exploded, scoring 6 runs on 4 hits. In the bottom half of the 6th inning to go out in front and then add 4 more runs off Bob Miller in the 7th as they won the opener 11-4. Now the pitch by Drabowsky, and the curve is a strike on the outside corner. After 5, Kansas City leading Detroit 9-1. And Cleveland leads Los Angeles 4-0 in the 2nd inning on the West Coast. Now Drabowsky turns and throws to first, not in time. Here's the pitch, driving Neal back from the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, it was a happy return to Cincinnati for veteran southpaw Joe Nuxall. Joe making his first appearance since coming back to Cincinnati. He worked 3 1/3 in relief in the opening game, allowed no runs, scattered 5 hits. And he doubled to right center off Ken McKenzie, driving 2 big runs in, and Nuxall was the winning pitcher in the game. It was about this time last year that Cincinnati reached into the minor leagues, into AAA, and picked up Ken Johnson from Toronto, and he gave them a real big lift in their fight to the National League pennant. Count 1-1 on Charlie Neal. The pitch by Drabowsky, a ground ball on the right side. Blasingame juggles, has to go to first. In time, getting Charlie Neal. He lost any chance he might have had for the force play on the lead runner, Richie Ashburn. Now here's Jim Hickman. Jim came in the first game when Ashburn was thrown out by umpire Vinnie Smith. And Jim was up twice, had 2 base hits. Setting up the Reds defensively, Gordy Coleman at first, Don Blasingame playing second, Leo Cardenas at short, and Eddie Casco at third. Drabowsky off the stretch. In comes the pitch. A line drive through the hole. A base hit to left field. Ashburn around third is heading in. There will be no throw. He comes in to score, standing up, and the Mets lead 1-0. 3 hits in a row for Jim Hickman. Mets 1 and the Reds 0 as Hickman singles to left, scoring Ashburn from second. Now the hitter is Frank Thomas. Frank hitless 3 times up in the opening game, was on base once with a walk. Frank hitting at .294. Ed Boucher waiting to bat next. Ball 1, outside and low to Frank Thomas. Frank had home runs in the first 2 games of this series. Now has 17 for the year. Now Drabowsky turns and throws to first, not in time. Well, the day has cooled off considerably following the rain, and so the umpires on the baselines are wearing their blue coats in this game. Outside and low. Ball 2, 2-0. Had a fairly good rain at one time during the first ball game. Got very dark and they had to turn the lights on. Finished the first ball game under the lights. The lights are off now. In comes the pitch by Drabowsky. A liner in the air to left field. Coming hard is Frank Lynch, and he makes a running one-handed grab. Good play in the outfield by Jerry Lynch, the left fielder. He had to come in hard, and at the last moment he reached out as far as he could and made a glove-handed grab of that liner hit by Thomas. 2 down now. The batter is Ed Boucher. Ed, as a pinch hitter in the opening game, had a base hit off the right field fence. Drabowsky delivers a called strike on the outside corner. Jim Hickman on first. Jim single to left field, scoring Richie Ashburn. In comes the pitch by Drabowsky. Goes to a curve, and it breaks inside and low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Next pitch by the Polish-born right-hander is taken for ball 2, 2-1. Yesterday was Moe Drabowsky's birthday, and they played a happy birthday for him here at the ballpark. He was 27 years old. The right-hander deals a ground ball bounced on the left side, cut off by the third baseman. The throw to first, in time by Eddie Casco. He looked for a force play at second. There was no one there covering, and so he had to go on to first to Gordy Coleman. Side retired in the first. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on. The score in the middle of the first inning, it's the Mets 1 and the Cincinnati Reds coming to bat. Now a message from Rheingold Extra Dry, told completely with music. Bob Moorhead on the mound for the New York Mets. In the night camp of this doubleheader, Bob's relief work has been very good over the last 3.5 weeks, and so Casey has promoted him to the starting line. Chris Cannizzaro working behind the plate, catching Bob Moorhead. Chris will handle him with his regular catcher's mitt instead of the oversized mitt. The Mets defensively have Ed Boucher playing first, Charlie Neal at second, Elio Chacon at short, and Rod Keneal at third. In the outfield, Frank Thomas in left, Jim Hickman playing center, and around in right field, Richie Ashburn. In his last 11 relief appearances, Moorhead gave up only 7 earned runs, and that was over 26 and 2/3 innings. Eddie Casco leading it off, a fly ball in the air to left center field, going hard is Hickman. He's getting there and makes the catch in the alley in left center field. 1 away, nobody on. Casco went right after the first pitch thrown by Bob Moorhead. That'll bring up Don Blassingame, hitting at .269. Blassingame had 1 for 4 in the first game. Freddie Hutchinson had him batting 8th in the opening game since the Mets started southpaw Al Jackson. Left-hand hitter takes a curve on the inside corner for a call, strike 1. Vada Pinson waiting on deck, and then Jerry Lynch. Rod Keneal in close at third against Don Blassingame. Now the windup and pitch by Moorhead off the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. First game today, Al Jackson started very effectively. He had a 3-hitter going over the first 5 innings. But the roof fell in on him in the 6th inning when the Reds chased him and continued against Ken McKenzie. Foul ball popped out of play off to the left. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Don Blassingame. No game tomorrow for New York. They'll be spending the off day in Milwaukee. They'll be the only baseball team in Milwaukee. The Braves will be in Cooperstown, New York tomorrow for the annual Hall of Fame game. They'll be playing the New York Yankees. Tomorrow, a big day for baseball. The 1-2 pitch. Knuckler missing outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tomorrow, Jackie Robinson, Bobby Feller, Ed Roush, and Deacon Bill McKechnie will formally be inducted to Baseball's Hall. The setting is a beautiful one. The 2-2 pitch by Moorhead. Line drive hit hard down the left field line, and it's foul. Foul by a couple of yards, deep down the line and left. The series in Milwaukee will be Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday afternoon. Then a very busy weekend next weekend in St. Louis with a doubleheader Friday night. Twilighter starting 6:30 New York time. A Saturday night game and a Sunday afternoon doubleheader to wind up the road trip. Moorhead pitches 2-2 to Blasingame. A liner to left center field. It'll be in for a base hit. Hickman running over in the alley, picks it up on the run, fires it back in. So Don Blasingame is on with a single to left center field, and it brings up Vada Pinson. Vada had a single and a double and 4 times up in the opening game. He's hitting at .293. Throw to first, not in time. Now Moorhead off the stretch. Delivers to Pinson. Outside, it's ball 1. Big hits for Cincinnati in their opening game victory were by Vada Pinson, Frank Robinson, Hank Foyles, and Joe Nuxall. The Mets were ahead 4-1. Pinson made it 4-2. Robinson made it 4-3. Foyles then knocked in 2, putting the Reds ahead for the first time. Ground ball hit the shortstop. Chacon flips the ball to Neal. There's one. Back to first. Out at first. A double play as they get the fast Vada Pinson. Elio Chacon starting the double play, and Neal made a fine pivot and relay throw on to first to Ed Boucher. So the side is out in the first inning with no runs, 1 hit, no errors, none left on. At the end of 1, Mets 1 and the Reds nothing. Now, while the teams are changing sides, we'll bring you right up to date on all of the other action. In Pittsburgh, the Giants took the rubber game of the series, winning 5-4. Marichal all the way. Harvey Haddix the loser. Philippe Alou, Willie Mays, Jim Davenport, Jose Pagan, and Dick Stewart had home runs in the game. After 2.5 at Houston, the Cardinals lead Houston 3-1. Gibson against Bruce. Milwaukee won the opener from Philadelphia 11-10. Notabart the winner in relief and Balsh in the loser. It's Denny LeMaster against Dallas Green in the second game, and it's raining. Raining in Chicago, too, where they're held up after 6. The Dodgers in front 13-6 over the Cubs. In the American League, Washington beat the Yankees 3-2 on a 4-hitter by Dave Stenhouse to snap a 9-game winning streak for New York. Bill Stafford the loser. Benny Daniels against Jim Bouton in the second game. The White Sox turned back the Red Sox 7-3. Bauman the winner and the loser Mike Fornelius. They're in the last of the 9th inning in Minnesota. The Orioles lead the Minnesota Twins 8-3. Home runs by Jackie Brandt and Jim Gentile for the Birds. Harmon Killebrew and Bernie Allen for the Twins. Kansas City leading Detroit 10-2 at the end of 6. And at the end of an inning and a half, Cleveland 4, the Angels nothing. On 2-run homers by Willie Kirkland and Jerry Kendall. Jim Perry against Don Lee.
Rod Keneal, the first man up against Drabowsky. Right-hander against right-hander. The score 1-0. Mets lead in the first pitch to Keneal to call strike. Home plate umpire Dusty Bogus, the first base umpire Stan Landis, and Vinnie Smith out at third. And the pitch back to Rod on the corner, strike 2 call. Mets scored 1 run in the first inning when Richie Ashburn beat out a high bouncer to third. Then Charlie Neal grounded out to second base, but Jim Hickman came through with a single to left to drive in the only run of the game. There's a check on the swing. It goes as a strike. Foul ball, and it's still 0-2 on Rod Keneal. Rod had 2 hits in the first game, 2 for 4. He is 4 for 10 in the series. Batting at .287. And the pitch back to him by Drabowsky is high, ball one, fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Moe Drabowsky, signed by the Chicago Cubs, originally one of the outstanding young prospects in the Cubs organization. Then he hurt his arm. Picked up by the Cincinnati Reds, now trying to make a comeback. Here's the 1-2 pitch, popped up and going out of play. And while we have time, we'll take this opportunity to pause for station identification.
This is WGY Schenectady, 810 on your dial, where the time now is 29 minutes before 6 o'clock and the temperature is 76 degrees.
Next pitch to Rod Keneal is outside, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ralph Kiner along with Bob Murphy and Lindsey Nelson from Crosley Field in Cincinnati. Score 1-0 favor of the Mets. And with no one out here in the top of the second, Rod Keneal fouls the next pitch straight back, and the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck batter, Elias Chacon. He'll be followed by Chris Cannizzaro. Mets have played 34 one-run ball games so far this year. Playing right now in their 94th game of the year. And again the 2-2 pitch, and again it's fouled away. The only team that the Mets have not beaten this year is the Cincinnati Reds. They stand at 6-0 with them. Losing the first 3 of the series right here, 3-1, 5-3, and the first game 11-4. Here again the 2-2 pitch, and here again a foul ball. So Rod Keneal stays alive against Moe Drabowsky. Moe looking for his 3rd victory of the year. He has lost 5. Big right-hander. The windup and the 2-2 pitch. Down low, a full count now as Rod Keneal battles a big right-handed pitcher. Drabowsky is 6'2", weighs 200 pounds. And he winds and comes back to the plate. And he comes back low, and that's the first walk. Issued in the game by Drabowsky, putting Keneal on at first base and bringing up Elias Chacon. Well, the Mets broke out in front in the first game of this doubleheader as they scored 1 run in the first inning, added 2 more in the second, and at one time in the first game they had a 4-0 lead. It was cut to 4-1, and then 6 runs turned the game around in favor of the Cincinnati Reds. They won the first one 11-4. And the first pitch to Elias Chacon. Outside, ball 1. A slider missing just off the plate. Elio batting .229. He had a double and an RBI in the first game and 4 times up. Now looking down for the sign from Salihimas. Keneal on at first, no one out. Keneal a good base runner. And the next pitch to Chacon is low. 2 balls, no strikes. Throw to first base, chasing Keneal back. He gets back safely. Myron Walter Moe Drabowsky, born in Poland. Back to the plate. This time he catches a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Lives at the present time in Highland Park, just slightly north of Chicago. Last year, started the season with Milwaukee. He was drafted from Louisville by the Cincinnati Reds. Again, he goes to first, again with the chance of a hit-and-run play on. He chases Keneal back. Keneal now moving off. He goes. The pitch is popped up in the air, and Keneal will have to hurry back to first base as Frank Robinson comes in and makes the catch. So on the hit-and-run play, Chacon hits the ball in the air, and the Mets now have 1 man down. And the batter coming in is Chris Cannizzaro. Chris batting .231. No home runs, 7 runs batted in. Batting from the right-hand side, and Drabowsky looking at first comes to the plate and misses outside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Giants defeated Pittsburgh, and technically they are 1.5 games back of the Dodgers. Their game still being held by rain. There goes Keneal. The pitch is lined to center. It's going to be a base hit. Keneal goes to second. Now goes for third. Here comes the throw. It's offline. And holding at first base as the throw was taken by Eddie Casco, Chris Cannizzaro. Now the Mets with runners at first and third and 1 out. And the batter scheduled up is the pitcher, Bob Moorhead. And Moorhead now coming out of the dugout looking for his first base hit of the year. He is 0 for 11. And he's also looking for his first Major League base hit. Runners at the corners, and the batter is the pitcher, Bob Moorhead. Third hit off of Moe Drabowsky. And the hit-and-run play setting up the fact that Keneal could go to third on the ball. The ball was well hit into center field. Pinson, who came on quickly, made the throw to third, but couldn't get the ball there in time. Now time call. Asali Hemus talks to Moorhead about what he should be doing in the spot here. 1 out. On deck batter is Richie Ashburn. Richie had a short game. In the first game, he was ejected from the game by Vinnie Smith in the 7th inning. And the first pitch to Moorhead is swung on and fouled straight back for strike 1. Infield back looking for the double play at short and second. Casco at third base playing even with the bag. Outfield shaded towards right field as Drabowsky goes into the stretch and comes back to the plate. Low outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the 1-1 pitch to the pitcher. A curveball. It's over. Strike 2. Drabowsky getting out in front now. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. Still day. The wind that was blowing earlier in the day now just about completely off. And the 1-2 pitch, outside and low, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We had some rain in the first game, but it didn't delay the game at all. They played right through it. Right now, the sky is somewhat overcast, not much bright sunlight, but plenty of light. Here's the 2-2 pitch, high for ball 3. Full count now. We'll see what Cannizzaro does at first base. 1 out. On deck batter, Richie Ashburn. This is a tough call for a manager right here. Pitcher batting, runners at first and third. Should you send a man or not? Of course, the pitcher certainly vulnerable to a strikeout, and of course, that would set up a possible double play if the runner goes, but then again, it could be a double steal setup. The runner goes, the pitch is fouled off to the right-hand side, and that pitch was out of the strike zone, inside and tight. And Moorhead started the swing, tried to hold up, and the ball glanced off of his bat. So he beats himself out of a walk, and it sends Cannizzaro back to first base, and the count holds to 3-2. Cannizzaro leading off at first. A look there by Drabowsky. He goes. The pitch is swung on and missed. The throw to second base is cut off. Here comes the runner from third. The slide, the tag in time. And it goes as a double play on the attempted double steal. If you're scoring, it went catcher to the shortstop and back to the catcher to retire the side. In the inning for the Mets, no runs on one hit, no errors, one man left on. And the score at the end of 1.5 innings of play. The Mets won, the Cincinnati Reds, nothing. You know, you've heard us say it's beer as beer should taste. Well, think of it for a minute. Isn't that what you want in a beer? But you want that refreshingly dry to the taste with a flavor that's just so brisk and bright and clean all the way through? Well, that is Rheingold. Rheingold is brewed to be just that. Brewed of the choicest ingredients, brewed the long, slow, costlier way. Rheingold is everything you look for in beer. And dry tells you why. Yes, extra dry means Rheingold's a better beer. It's a wonderful beer. And extra dry means Rheingold beer is more refreshing. And the more refreshing a beer is, the more you're going to enjoy it. So enjoy fine, cold Rheingold beer along with the game. Join the millions who have made Rheingold New York's largest selling beer. Bottom half of the second inning coming up, and coming up for their second turn, the Cincinnati Reds. They trail 1-0 as Bob Moorhead completes his warm-up pitches on the mound. Here's the final score. Baltimore took the Twins 8-6. The winning pitcher was Roberts. He's done a fine job over in the American League. The losing pitcher, Pasquale. Killebrew, his 25th home run. Grant, Allen, and Gentile. Gentile, his 25th home run, also chipping in for the 4-fly job. All set to go now in the bottom of the second inning, and leading off for the Cincinnati Reds, Jerry Lynch, the left fielder. And the first pitch to Jerry is lined to center field, but Jim Hickman there on the incline right at the bottom takes it for out number 1. Lynch batting .303, the first man out here in the second, and it brings up Frank Robinson. Frank, a .331 batter, 16 home runs and 77 runs batted in. Robinson batting from the right-hand side. 1-0 game. Mets lead it, and the first pitch to the right-handed batter. Taken over, a curveball, strike 1. Gordy Coleman, the on-deck batter. Now Moorhead, looking for his first major league win, comes to the plate with a fastball. It's swung on and foul-tipped into the catcher's glove. Strike 2. Bob Moorhead pitched at Jersey City last year, and this year is his first year in the major leagues. He shakes off the first sign, the second. He has a knuckleball, and the pitch is hit out to right field. Moving back is Gene Woodling, flipping the glasses down. Should say Richie Ashburn, and he makes a catch for out number 2. So 2 fly balls for 2 outs, and Gordon Coleman comes in. Coleman batting .273, 19 home runs and 51 runs batted in. Left-handed batter, and the first pitch to him is a curveball on the outside corner, strike 1. The right-hander back, this time outside and high. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch. A check on the swing outside, ball 2. 2 balls and 1. 2 outs to score 1-0 in favor of the Mets. Bottom half of the second inning. Now the windup and the pitch back. Swung on and fouled straight back. Strike 2. Sunshine now shining brightly. We've had just a little bit of everything today. Started out with rain, then got bright, and then got dark again, and rained again. Now the sun out again. Out in center field across the highway over the center field fence. Even some of the freebies using umbrellas to keep the sun off now. There's a swing and again a foul. Count holding at 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck batter, the catcher, John Edwards. Reds won the first one 11-4. Coming from behind with 6 big runs to win it. The 2-2 pitch popped up and going out of play. Straight back of home plate. So once again, Coleman stays alive at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yankees lost to Washington in the American League race. Their first loss after 9 straight wins. Score of that one 3-2. Dave Stenhouse, who pitched for Cincinnati right here, the winning pitcher. Loser was Stafford for the Yanks. There's a swing and again a foul. Count holding at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 home run in that game by Harry Bright. Came in the first inning, and that was the end of the scoring for the Senators, but that was enough. Stenhouse pitched a 4-hitter. In another big game, this time in the National League, the Giants defeated Pittsburgh 5-4. Marischal going all the way to pitch a 7-hitter. Losing pitcher for Pittsburgh, Haddix. Alou had a home run in that one. Mays had a home run, his 28th. Davenport contributing. And Pagan along with Dick Stewart. Mays leading the major leagues in home runs with 28. Here's the windup, and again the 2-2 pitch, and again it's fouled away. So 3 deuces on the board, and they stay there. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 1-0 favor of the Mets. The Dodgers played at Chicago. That game held because of rain in the bottom of the 6th inning. And they lead it 13-6. Roebuck, the pitcher in the game now for the Dodgers. He's pitching against Barney Schultz if the game goes on. So it looks as though the Dodgers will hold on to their present 2-game lead. There's a swing and a miss on a knuckleball, strike 3. So Coleman stayed alive just in time to strike out for the first strikeout of the game for Bob Moorhead. That retires the side, 3 up, 3 down in the score at the end of 2. The Mets won, the Cincinnati Reds, nothing. Well, the Mets return home on August 1st against the Phillies, and just in case you don't have your new revised edition of the Mets yearbook, we'd advise you to mail in right now so you'll be all set to take in the 2 series coming up between the Phillies. 2 games for the Phillies, 1 a night game on the 1st and a day game on the 2nd. And then the big 5-game series with the Reds. Reds coming in town for a night game on Friday night, a doubleheader on Saturday and Sunday. And the Mets yearbook will fill out your complete information book on what's doing with the Mets. Also, some other important events in the book, over 100 pictures. And all you have to do is send a Mets yearbook, Polo Grounds, New York, 39, New York, and be sure to send along 50 cents, too. That little item certainly necessary, but it'll be coming your way in no time at all. Mets yearbook, Polo Grounds, New York, 39, New York. Well, it looks like we got time enough to kill off a bit of this heat. Just the time it takes to order up or open up a frosty can or bottle of cold, refreshing Rheingold Extra Dry. You'll feel refreshed and enjoy the game all the more. 1-0 game, Mets lead as Richie Ashburn comes to bat for the second time. Richie has scored the only run of the game. He beat out a high Baltimore chop. Then scored when Jim Hickman picked up his third hit of the day, 3 in a row, a single to left center field. And the first pitch to Richie Ashburn is a called strike as Moe Drabowsky comes in with a fastball. Richie started this game batting .294. Now the right-hander back to the left-handed batter. Strike 2 call. Leslie Bogus giving the wide sweep with the right hand for the strike call. On deck batter, Charlie Neal. He'll be followed by Jim Hickman. Here's the windup and the 2-strike pitch. Hit in the air to right center field. Shallow out there. Coming on is Frank Robinson. He makes the catch for out number 1. So Richie's down for the first out in the third, and it brings up Charlie Neal. Charlie did not play in the first game, and his first time up in the second game resulted in a ground ball to second base. He is 0 for 1, started the game at .252. 7 home runs, 32 runs batted in, and he swings and foul tips the first pitch right into the catcher's glove. Strike 1. The windup and the 1-strike pitch to Neal. Bunted foul down towards the first base side. Ball going foul right away. Strike 2. Mets will play the Milwaukee Braves on Tuesday night. And scheduled to pitch the opener there will be Roger Craig. That game will be on the air, New York time at 8:55. They'll play a night game on Wednesday. That game also televised. And will be on the air at 8:55 for that one, too. Roger Craig, the starting pitcher in that series, 3-game series with the Braves. Here's a 2-strike pitch, a swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout for Moe Drabowsky, and 2 outs now in the third. Now the batter, Jim Hickman. Jim went in the game in the first game as a replacement in center field when Richie Ashburn was ejected from the game, and he promptly got 2 hits. And that, with his single here the first time up in the second game, gives him 3 for 3. And he takes inside ball 1. Jim had an RBI, the only run of the game, his 23rd of the year. Has a total of 7 home runs. He's batting .271. And he takes on the outside corner. Strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs, the Mets lead 1-0. The windup by Drabowsky, and the pitch is outside. Ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1 pitch to Hickman. A little bit low for ball 3. 3 balls and 1. Jim now looking for the take sign or the hit sign from Solly Hemus. Hemus has more signs than the New York Street Department. Now the 3-1 pitch. Hit hard, foul down the third base side. Count going to 3-2. Hickman all the way with Moe Drabowsky. On deck batter is Frank Thomas. And here, like everywhere else, one of the kids falling over the railing to come up with a ball. The windup and the full count pitch. Hit through the middle, the shortstop coming over. He can't get to it. It goes on the ground into center field. So Jim now 4 for 4 in his last 4 times up. A runner at first base with 2 outs, and Frank Thomas comes to bat. That ball hit right off the hands, just barely got through. A CIN base hit. Sort of the kind of hits that Dixie Walker used to get with the Dodgers. Mandrake the Magician. Frank Thomas Out on a line drive to left field. A good play by Jerry Lynch. 0 for 1. And he takes a curve outside, ball 1. Frank batting .294 at the start of the game. He's had 2 home runs in the series to bring his total to 17, and he has 56 runs batted in. The Dodger game was called on account of rain in Chicago, and they win it. Throw to first base, Hickman back. And the Dodgers holding their lead of 2 games against the San Francisco Giants, who defeated Pittsburgh. 1-0 pitch to Thomas, bounce down the third. Coming up with the ball, Casco going across the diamond to Coleman, out number 3. In that Dodger game, the Dodgers 13 runs on 15 hits. The game was called in the top of the 7th inning. The Cubs had 6 runs on 9 hits. In the inning right here, though, the Mets no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors, 1 man left. And the score at the end of 2 1/2 innings of play. The Mets won, the Cincinnati Reds nothing. Let's listen now to a trio of your favorite performers.
The Rheingold Extra Dry, extra talented players sing a medley of your favorite songs.
My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Think of Rheingold whenever you buy beer. It's not bitter,
not sweet.
It's the dry flavor treat. Won't you try extra dry Rheingold? Rheingold beer.
My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Think of Rheingold whenever you buy beer. It's not bitter, not sweet. It's the dry flavor treat. Won't you try extra dry Rheingold beer?
My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer.
Think of Rheingold whenever you buy beer.
It's not bitter, not sweet. It's a dry flavor treat. Won't you try extra dry Rheingold beer?
We're a little late, folks.
Bob Moorhead warming up the mound to start the 3rd inning. He'll be pitching to John Edwards, then Leo Cardenas, and the pitcher Moe Drabowsky. Moorhead, through 2 innings, has given up only 1 hit. That was the Don Blassing game, and he was erased when Vada Pinson hit into a fast double play. So he has faced 6 men in 2 innings so far. And here comes John Edwards. Edwards batting .263, 5 home runs and 30 runs batted in. He's used against the right-handed pitchers. Hank Quarles goes against the left. And the first pitch to the left-handed batter. Bounced slowly down towards first base. Ed Boucher up with the ball, throws over to first base to Moorhead as he covers out number 1. And it brings up Leo Cardenas. One nothing favor of the Mets as the right-hander steps into the batter's box. And he takes a .261 average up to the plate. 6 home runs, 27 runs batted in. And the first pitch. Taken on the outside corner, knee high, strike 1. On deck batter, Moe Drabowsky. Now the windup and the 1-strike pitch. Outside and high, ball 1. The Senators have taken a 1-0 lead over the Yankees after winning the first game 3-2 as they score 1 run in the top of the 4th. Benny Daniels against Booten. Bouncing ball, a comebacker, 1 hopper to Bob Moorhead. He goes to first, out number 2. So, Moorhead reverses the last procedure as Edwards grounded out to first base and Boucher threw to Moorhead. This time, Moorhead threw to Boucher to pick up a second out, and it brings up the pitcher, Moe Drabowsky. He bats from the right-hand side and looks for his first base hit. Now Moorhead with his windup and the first pitch. On the outside corner, a slider, strike one. The one-strike pitch again on the outside corner, strike two. Bob Moorhead making his fourth start of the year. This is his 27th appearance on the mound. And back to the plate. And this one sails right over the top of the catcher's head. Ball one. Pitch was right over the plate, but too high for Canizero to take. No damage done, no one on. The count 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. 1-0 favor the Mets. The windup and the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3 to retire the side. The second strikeout for Moorhead. In the inning, 3 up and 3 down the score at the end of 3. The Mets won, the Cincinnati Reds nothing. And let's take this opportunity to duck out and let you duck in for station identification.
This is WGY Schenectady, where you can hear all the games of the New York Mets. For baseball, the best in music. For comprehensive, reliable news reporting, stay tuned to WGY.
Crosley Field. And a look at the scores. San Francisco 5, Pittsburgh 4. The only game scheduled against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And the Giants holding on to their 2-game deficit to the Los Angeles Dodgers as the Dodgers defeated Chicago in a game shortened by rain, 13-6. Also, the Milwaukee Braves outlasted the Phillies in the first game of 2, 11-10. In the second game, the Braves lead it 2-1 through 3.5. Lee Master and Green pitching in that one. And St. Louis playing at Houston, leading 3-1 through 5. Gibson and Bruce, the opposing pitchers. Gibson has pitched 3 consecutive 3-hit games. In the American League, the Yankees lost the first game 3-2 to Washington. In the second game, they trailed Washington 1-0 through 3.5. Daniels and Bruton, the pitchers there. And the Chicago White Sox defeated Boston 7-3. Baltimore defeated Minnesota 8-6. Detroit trailing the Kansas City Athletics 10-3 through 7.5. The pitchers in that one, Consale and Fisher. And the final game scheduled in the American League, the Cleveland Indians 7, the Los Angeles Angels nothing. Perry and Botts now pitching for the Angels. Cleveland having lost 9 in a row, now out in front, trying to break their losing streak. And now here's Bob Murphy.
All right, Ralph. Ed Boucher leading off as we go into the 4th inning, and the pitch by Drabowsky is a strike call. Ed Boucher 0 for 1 was thrown out by the third baseman Eddie Casco his first time up. Now Drabowsky winds and pitches. Ground ball bounced towards shortstop. Leo Cardenas fielding it near second, throws on to Gordy Coleman, 1 away. He had real good defensive position as he shaded way over towards second, figuring Boucher to pull, which he did. One away and nobody on. The hitter now is Rod Keneal. Rod drew a walk. His only time up in this game. Rod had 2 hits and 4 times up in the first game. The Mets have had their share of base hits in this series, but have been unable to group them. Foul ball coming back toward our radio booth and out of play. In the first game of the series, won by Cincinnati 3-1, the Mets out-hit the Reds 8-7. In game 2, they out-hit Cincinnati 11-7, but lost 5-3. Grounder hit hard to short, glove-handed by Leo Cardenas to throw to first, 2 men down. Good play by Cardenas going to his left to grab that one on the first hop. 2 up and 2 set aside by right-hander Moe Drabowsky, and the hitter coming on now is Elio Chacon. Little Elio flied to right his first time up. Elio's been wearing an ace bandage on that left knee, which was aggravated and has been bothering him some. He was rested by Casey and returned to action in the first game today. Strike called in the outside corner. At the end of 4 in the Yankee Stadium, Washington won and the Yankees won, both teams getting a run in the 4th inning. Benny Daniels against Jim Bouton. A line drive into left field, a clean hit for Elio Chacon. Left fielder Jerry Lynch putting the ball back to the infield. And Chacon is on, and that's base hit number 5 off Moe Drabowsky. Chris Cannizzaro hitting number 8 in the order coming up. Chris had a base hit to center field in the second inning. Joe Pignatano caught the first game today, and Joe had 2 for 3. After the action subsides today, the Mets will have played 94 ball games. They'll have 3 in Milwaukee and 5 in St. Louis. So the Mets will be over the 100-game mark when they get back to the Polo Grounds on Wednesday, August 1. Outside and low, it's ball 1. The Mets will have a lot of action in the Polo Grounds during the month of August. They have 17 playing dates during August in the Polo Grounds, and on several of those dates, doubleheaders. A pop foul back toward the crowd. Here comes Johnny Edwards hoping for a play, but it's out of reach. Drops into the field boxes, out of play. Tomorrow, the Milwaukee Braves meet the New York Yankees at Cooperstown in the ceremonies. Prior to the game at Cooperstown tomorrow, Jackie Robinson, Bobby Feller, Ed Roush, and Deacon Bill McKechnie go into the Hall of Fame. A throw to first, not in time. A wonderful testimonial dinner being given for Jackie Robinson. A high pop fly to short left field. Leo Cardenas drifting into shallow left is waved off by Lynch. He drops the ball. Racing on to second, Cannizzaro. Chacon is trying to score the play. He's out at the plate. On to third goes Cannizzaro. Chacon trying to score is out at the plate to retire the side. Jerry Lynch at the last moment yelled off the shortstop Leo Cardenas on the high pop to short left field. Lo and behold, it popped right out of his mitt. And Elio Chacon, who was running with 2 down on the crack of the bat, tried to come all the way in. But the left fielder, Jerry Lynch, after dropping it, ran it down, picked it up, and made a real strong and accurate throw to the plate to Johnny Edwards. And Chacon is out at the plate. From Jerry Lynch to Johnny Edwards. Cannizzaro reaching on the error charge to Jerry Lynch. So the side is out in the 4th inning with no runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left on. And now at the end of 3.5, the score, Mets 1 and the Reds nothing. And now here's one of America's most popular singers with a musical lesson in 2 languages.
Vic Damone saying down on Mulberry Street, far and near, the one they like is Rheingold beer. Rheingold è la birra da bere, che delizia poterla godere. Dolce amara non è, ma perfetta lo è, comperate la Rheingold teste. Italian and English have the same word for refreshment, Rheingold. Remember that name when you want beer that's brisk and bright and clean clear through. Dry tells you why. Rheingold is brewed the long, slow, costlier way. It's New York's favorite. It's beer as beer should taste. My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Think of Rheingold whenever you buy beer. It's not bitter, not sweet. It's the dry flavor treat. Won't you try extra dry Rheingold beer? Shout!
In the home half of the 4th inning, it's the top of the batting order for Freddie Hutchinson's Cincinnati Reds. Third baseman Eddie Casco is up against right-hander Bob Moorhead. And the fastball is into the letters for a call, strike 1. Elio Chacon trying to dash all the way home from first base on a pop fly to short left field that was dropped by Jerry Lynch. Lynch recovering after dropping the ball in time to get the throw into Johnny Edwards for the play at the plate. In the opening ball game, the Mets had Clarence Coleman caught at the plate. when he slipped coming around third and lost that split second that he needed to be safe.
16,652, 16652.
Next pitch, a fly ball in the air to center field. Jim Hickman, a few strides to his left, makes the catch, one man down. One away and nobody on now in the last of the fourth inning, and on to hit will be Don Blasingame. Second baseman Don Blasingame hitting at 269. Don had a base hit, the only hit given up by Bob Moorhead in the first inning. Blasingame was 1 for 4 in the first game, batting in the number 8 position. Those of you joining us late, Cincinnati came storming from behind to tally 6 times in the 6th, 4 more in the 7th, to win the opening game 11-4 with Nuxall the winner in relief. Strike called on the inside corner to Don Blasingame. Rod Keneal in close at third against Blasingame to try and make him hit the other way. Infield then on the rest of the positions pulled a little bit toward right. Blasingame batting with an open stance. Pitch thrown by Bob Moorhead, a breaking ball inside and low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Right here, the New York Mets lead the Cincinnati Reds 1-0. We're in the last half of the fourth inning. Moorhead's 1-1 pitch. Curve outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Vada Pinson on deck, and then Jerry Lynch. The Reds will be opening a 4-game series against Pittsburgh here tomorrow night. Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. Pitching 2-1. That's over. Strike 2 called. 2-2 on Blasingame. Now Don, feet wide apart, waits, whacks it foul back toward the crowd. There's no play, and the count stays at 2-2. Second and short, the Keystone combination manned so well for almost a decade here in Cincinnati by Johnny Temple and Roy McMillan. Finally, the double play combination was broken up. McMillan now with the Braves and Johnny Temple now with the Baltimore Orioles. Count 2-2 on Blasingame. Moorhead over the head. Down comes the arm. Strike 3 called. A blazing fastball on the inside corner, and Blasingame is called out. Well, Blasingame stops to fuss for a moment with umpire Dusty Boggess. Strikeout number 3 for Bob Moorhead. 2 outs and nobody on now in the fourth inning. Here's Vada Pinson. Vada hit into a double play started by Elio Chacon in the first inning. He is without a doubt one of the toughest men in baseball to double up. Ground smash up the middle for a base hit going into center field. Jim Hickman scooping it up. And Pinson takes the turn. He's on with a single, and that's the second Cincinnati hit. Every time one of the Reds delivers a base hit, you hear that bugle call, and then the crowd all putting out charge. Jerry Lynch hit the ball hard his first time up, a line drive to center that was taken by Jim Hickman. Jerry hitting .303 on the year, right down on the knob of that bat. He has good power. Left-hand hitter. Throw to first. Safe. Pinson had to dive to get back in. Mets lead 1-0. They scored in the first inning. Throw to first, not in time. Boucher putting the tag on Pinson. But Vada slides back in safely. Two-strike pitch. And the slow breaking ball is over for a called strike. Bob Moorhead, big blonde right-hander from Lemoyne, Pennsylvania, hurling for the New York Mets. Bob is a good competitor on the mound. Outfield deep and to right. The throw to first is not in time. Now the pitch, and it's a pitch out, but nothing was on. 1 ball, 1 strike. Reds moved past the Cardinals in the standings just by percentage points when they beat the Mets yesterday, while the Cardinals split a day-night doubleheader with the Houston Colt 45s. Bob Gibson hooked up against Bob Bruce down at Houston this afternoon. Cardinals in front 3-1, and they've gone 5.5 innings. Count 1-1. Moorhead keeps an eye on Pinson. There he goes. The pitch pops out of Canizaro's glove. Stolen base for Vada Pinson. He sets himself up in scoring position, and he represents the potential tying run. Canizaro, in his anxiety to get a play on Vada Pinson, had the fastball pop out of his mitt as he tried to grab it in a hurry. So the count is 2-1 now, with Pinson on second. Reds trying to sweep, Mets trying to gain a split. Now Reggie Otero on the lines at third, shouting out instructions to Vada Pinson. Ball 3. Moorhead behind on Lynch, 3-1. Frank Robinson on deck. The stadium shadows just now reaching out toward the edge of home plate. All of the defensive players right now are basking in the sunlight. Now Moorhead for one of the few times behind on the count to the hitter. 3-1 to Jerry Lynch. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. It gets away. Pinson going to third. The throw to third. Slide. He's out at third base. Pinson is out at third. On a curve that was swung and missed, it popped out of Canizaro's mitt, and Pinson broke for third. But Canizaro recovered, and he really had something on that throw, going down to Rod Kenneal. They had the ball waiting on Vada Pinson. So the side is out in the fourth inning with no runs, 1 hit, no errors, none left. 4 innings complete, and the score, the Mets 1 and the Reds nothing. Be sure to check your Mets baseball calendar now for the many attractive dates that the Mets will be at home during the month of August. And in particular, the 2 big nights in which the New York Mets will be paying tribute to one of the truly all-time greats in Stan Musial. Cardinals come into New York, and Musial will be honored by the Mets on Friday night, August 17th. And the following Friday night, on August 24th, the Mets pay tribute to one of their own and one of the greatest in Gil Hodges. Tickets are on sale at the advanced sale window on the 8th Avenue side of the Polo Grounds, and also for your added convenience, Grand Central Station near the 42nd and Vanderbilt ramp and the Long Island waiting room of the Penn Station. Remember, too, that ticket reservations for all future Polo Grounds games may be made at all Howard Clothes stores in the greater New York area. Say, you know, there's nothing like a tall, frosty glass of Rheingold to keep you refreshed and help you enjoy the game. Hope you've got plenty on hand. You just can't beat Rheingold Extra Dry for that extra refreshment. Now Bob Moorhead leads off against Moe Drabowsky in the top of the 5th inning. The right-hander's pitch is right in there. Strike 1 call. Moorhead 0 for 1. He was struck out his first time up. Drabowsky cranks up. The pitch thrown, a breaking ball off the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the 1-1 delivery. Swing and a miss. Looked like a slider over the outside corner. In the second game at Connie Mike Stadium, Joe Adcock's 2-run homer has the Braves leading the Phillies 2-1 after 4.5. Outside. Count is even now, 2-2. Braves going for a sweep. They won the first game, a real Pier 6 brawl by the score of 11-10. In that first game, it was 10-9 at the end of 4 innings. Only 2 runs in the second half of the game. Pitching 2-2. Just got a piece of it. A foul ball off, no play. Cardinals are out in the 7th inning at Houston. Cardinals lead Houston 3-1 at the end of 6.5 innings. Now the windup pitch by Drabowsky, and it's a high pop foul over toward the field boxes. Eddie Casco is over, and he has room. He takes it for the out, retiring Bob Moorhead. 1 away, nobody on now in the top half of the 5th inning. Top of the order for right fielder Richie Ashburn. The end of 5 in Yankee Stadium. Washington and the Yankees tied up 1-1. Richie has 1 for 2 and brought home the only run of this game. He takes strike 1 call. Casco in close at third against Richie Ashburn. Now Drabowsky, the big right-hander, winds and pitches, and the fastball is a little bit high to Richie. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's 1 run on 5 hits and no errors. The Reds, no runs, 2 hits, and 1 error. The error against Cincinnati did not prove costly when Lynch recovered to throw Chacon out at home plate. Ball 2, 2-1. Now the 2-1 delivery. And that's ball 3 up high, 3-1. Well, we have a real good-looking day out here now. Sky is a brilliant blue overhead. Cloudiness has moved on toward the horizon. What was a dead calm, we now have a slight breeze from the prevailing direction blowing to right. Call strike 2 at the letters. A full count, 3-2 on Richie Ashburn. Charlie Neal is the on-deck batter. In the first inning, Richie beat out an infield hit, a Baltimore chop to third. He went to second on a ground ball hit to second base by Charlie Neal. Fly ball hit down the left field line over toward the bullpen. Moving across the line is Jerry Lynch, and he makes the catch. Ball caught in foul territory. 2 men down now in the top of the 5th, and up to hit will be Charlie Neal. Little things can mean so much in baseball games. Should the score of this game stand up, one thing that would stand out is the fact that in the opening inning, after Richie got on with an infield hit, Neal hit a ground ball to Blassingame, and Blassingame juggled the ball for just an instant, losing a chance to make a force play on the lead runner. Outside and low, it's ball 1. He still had time to fire to first base and get Charlie Neal, but Ashburn went into scoring position. And Richie raced in to score on a base hit to left field by Jim Hickman. A high foul fly hit deep down the right field line, but out of play. Well, the top home run hitters in baseball are all hitting home runs today. Swing and a miss by Charlie Neal. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Willie Mays hit his 28th as the Giants beat Pittsburgh 5-4. Henry Aaron homered in that first game win for Milwaukee. Jim Gentile homered in the Oriole victory over the Minnesota Twins. Pitching 1-2. Raked foul into the backstop. Count 1-2 on Charlie Neal. 2 outs, nobody on. We're in the 5th inning with the Mets leading 1-0. Nightcap of a doubleheader. And the ball is popped up by Charlie down the right field line. Scooting over goes Blassingame, and he makes the catch in fair territory near the line. In the fifth inning, the Mets are out in order with no runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. So we've come halfway at the end of 4.5 innings. The score, the Mets 1 and the Reds nothing. Well, let's stay right on the subject of baseball for a minute and see if you have the answer to this Rheingold riddle. Now, let's suppose the batter hits a long fly ball down the right field foul line. The right fielder comes over to the line in an effort to make the catch. And with his feet in fair territory, he extends his hands over the foul line and drops the ball. Got it? Feet in fair territory. Ball drops in foul territory. Give up? Well, the correct ruling is foul ball. The position of the ball in relation to the foul line is the determining factor, so foul ball is the correct ruling in this case. Now, here's a ruling, a rule of thumb that's correct in any case. If you want beer as beer should taste, the one to order is Rheingold Extra Dry. And those two words, extra dry, tell you why. Yes, sir, they tell you that Rheingold has a taste all its own. Brisk and bright and clean clear through. Enjoy some along with the ball game. Jerry Lynch was hitting when Vada Pinson was thrown out at third by Chris Cannizzaro for the third out. And so Lynch will lead off against Bob Moorhead in the last half of the fifth inning. Seven innings complete in Houston now. Cardinals 3 and the Colt 45s 1. And it's all over in Kansas City. The A's beat Detroit. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Strike one. Now Bob Moorhead getting his sign from Chris Cannizzaro. Nobody on, nobody out. Last half of the fifth inning. A high fly, not too deep to left. Scooting out is Elio Chacon. In comes Thomas. Chacon calling, and Elio has it. One man away. One away, nobody on. Frank Robinson coming up. At Kansas City this afternoon, the A's down Detroit 11-3. Ed Rocco, the winning pitcher, replaced by Fisher in the seventh. Toothpick Sam Jones was the loser. Jerry Lumpy and Bobby Del Greco hit two-run homers for the A's, and Dick McAuliffe and Jake Wood homered for Detroit in a losing effort. Here's the windup. Hit hard on the ground. Glove handed by Rod Kinneal. The throw in time, and Robinson is out. That ball was hit hard, and up with it came Rod Kinneal. Two men down. Two outs, nobody on. The batter is Gordy Coleman. He was struck out his first time up. Pitch by Moorhead is a curve on the inside corner for a called strike. Here's the pitch. Ground ball hit hard down the right field line, going for a base hit. That ball is going into the bullpen. Ashburn is after it. On to second base goes Coleman. He's on his way to third, and there'll be no relay throw. He slides into third. Gordy Coleman tripling down the right field line. That ball was hard to get to because it got into the bullpen down the right field line. It was in play, and Gordy Coleman goes all the way to third with a triple. And now the Reds have the tying run on third, two men down, and the batter coming up is Hank Edwards. Well, Gary Player is the PGA champ. He fired a par 70 today to win it with a final score of 278. Bob Golby, the runner-up. Golby had a 67 today for a final 279. Now the hitter is Johnny Edwards with a potential tying run on third. The triple by Coleman, just the third hit given up by Moorhead. Runner on third. Mets have the outfield deep and around toward right against left-handed batting Johnny Edwards. Edwards hitting at 264, and he has some power. A ground ball bounced on the right side. Boucher goes after it, grabs, throws to Moorhead. He's out, and the side is retired. Ed Boucher to Bob Moorhead covering, and the Reds are out in the fifth inning. No runs, one hit. No errors, one left on. They left a potential tying run stranded on third base. Here are the 5-inning totals. For the New York Mets, 1 run on 5 hits, no errors. Cincinnati, no runs, 3 hits, and 1 error. Now, before Lindsey Nelson takes us along to the 6th inning of action here at Crosley Field, let's pause for station identification.
This is WGY Schenectady, 810 on your dial, where the time now is 24 minutes, 26 minutes that is, before 7 o'clock, and the temperature is 76 degrees.
Going to the top half of the 6th now, and right-hand batter Jim Hickman steps into the batter's box to lead off for the New York Mets. Hickman, coming back to the lineup, has had a big day. He came in place of Richie Ashburn after Ashburn was ejected from the ball game by umpire Vinnie Smith in the first game. He got 2 base hits in that game. He's 2 for 2 in this one. Hickman has had 4 straight base hits this afternoon. Moe Drabowsky into the windup, and the pitch. It is in there for a call, strike 1. The New York Mets leading in this ball game by a score of 1-0. Drabowsky again into a big windup, and the pitch is low and away for a ball. 5-inning totals for the New York Mets: 1 run on 5 hits and no errors. For the Cincinnati Reds, no runs, only 3 hits and 1 error. Drabowsky observed his 27th birthday yesterday. Here's the 1-1 pitch, low and away. It's ball 2. This is the concluding game of a 4-game set between the Mets and the Reds. 2-1 pitch is high for ball 3, so it's out 3-1 on rookie outfielder Jim Hickman. Drabowsky takes a moment to turn around and work on the ball. Frank Thomas swinging bats in the on-deck circle for the Mets. Now Drabowsky is set to work the 3-1 pitch. It's on the way, swung on and fouled back, out of play. And that runs the count full to Jim Hickman. The first game of today's doubleheader, the Mets got out in front early, held a 4-0 lead. And the Reds scored 1, make it 4-1, and then the Reds exploded the ball game in the bottom half of the 6th with 6 big runs and went on to win it 11-4. Here's a 3-2 pitch to Hickman, taken tight, and it is ball 4. He walked him. That is only the second walk given up by Moe Drabowsky. He walked Rod Canneel in the 2nd inning. But it gives the Mets a leadoff base runner here in the top half of the 6th inning. Brings up Frank Thomas, who lined out to Jerry Lynch in left field and grounded out third to first. The Mets in this ball game have had 2 runners thrown out at the plate. Hickman, the base runner, has good speed at first. Takes the lead off the bag as Gordon Coleman holds against the runner, and here's the pitch. Thomas swings and sends a foul ball back and out of play. Strike 1 count to the Mets cleanup batter. The sun is shining brightly here at Crosley Field now. We had rain for about 3 innings of the first game. The rain began during the big 6-run 6th inning. The pitch to Thomas is low for a ball. It's 1-1. Defensively around the infield, the Reds have Coleman at first, Blassingame at second, Cardenas at short, and Casco at third. Jerry Lynch is in left field, Vada Pinson in center, and Frank Robinson in right. Johnny Edwards the catcher, and Moe Drabowsky the pitcher. There's a throw over to first, not in time, as Jim Hickman is back safely. Hickman's been on base 3 times in this ball game. Pitch to Thomas, drill foul. A line shot, hitting against the low wire fence in front of the field boxes down the left field line. 1-2. Again, the pitch, low and away in the dirt, dug up by Johnny Edwards.
Drabowsky looking in to get a sign. Has it now. Is into the stretch position as Hickman leads off the bag at first. The 2-2 pitch is a curveball low and away, and it's out full to 3-2. New York Mets have been playing a running game here at Crosley Field this afternoon, so let's see how they play it here now with nobody out. The count of 3-2 to Thomas. And Jim Hickman, the base runner at first. Drabowsky goes over for the rosin bag. Comes back, smooths out the dirt in front of the rubber. Looks in for a sign. Has it. Hickman leads it first. He's running. Here's a pitch drilled into left field. Going to be in there for a base hit. And Jim Hickman's on his way to third and holds up as the throw comes to the relay man. Hickman goes back to the bag at second. Jerry Lynch charged the ground ball, came up with it in a hurry, and fired it on to Cardenas, and that forced Hickman to go back to the bag at second. So there are runners at first and second. Nobody out, and first baseman Ed Boucher is coming up. Johnny Edwards has gone out to the mound to check with Moe Drabowsky. And Jim Brosnan is heating up in the bullpen for the Cincinnati Reds. Brosnan has been warmed up a number of times during this series, but has seen no action. Boucher steps into the batter's box. Left-hand batter, and here's the pitch outside for ball one. Runners leading at first and second base. Pitch to Boucher, swung on. It's a high-hopping ground ball to second base. Blasingame charges, makes the play over to Cardenas, and that's the only play he has. They get the force at second. Runners at first and third now with one away. So Boucher has forced Frank Thomas as the play went Blasingame to Cardenas, 4-6 if you're scoring, and Jim Hickman moved on to third. Rod Keneal waiting to step into the batter's box. He has walked and grounded out in this ball game. He had 2 hits in the first game here today. Brosnan continues to throw in the bullpen for the Cincinnati Reds. Keneal steps out of the batter's box. He is not certain of the sign from Coach Salahimas at third. He has it now. The Mets are leading by a score of 1-0 and bidding for more here in the 6th inning. Ball is attempted bunt goes to strike one to Keneal. They're going to try the safety squeeze, try to get Hickman across, and now Hemus again runs through the repertoire of signs. It's strike one to Keneal. Boucher is the base runner at first. Moe Drabowsky into the stretch, and the pitch to Keneal. Again, he bunts it, and it goes off foul for strike 2. Trying to push the ball down the first baseline. That time, Keneal got a little piece of it, but went off foul for strike 2. Drabowsky taking a little time out there around the mound. Runners lead at first and third for the Mets. 2-strike pitch to Keneal is high for a ball. It's 1-2. Cincinnati defense plays Keneal straight away. The pitch, swung on. It's a ground ball to Casco, and he's going to make the play at the plate on Hickman. He is out as he tried to elude the tag of Edwards. Runners at first and second on 2 away as Casco took the ground ball, and Hickman, running on the ground ball, has been thrown out at the plate. It goes 5-2 if you're scoring. Elio Chacon will be coming up. So for the third time in this game, the Mets have had a runner out at the plate. Mets lead by a score of 1-0. Helio Chacon has flied to right and singled. He's 1 for 2. Ed Boucher is the base runner at second. Rod Keneal is the base runner at first. Keneal, of course, safe on the fielder's choice at first base. Drabowsky turns and calls time and asks Johnny Edwards to come out to the mound. So his battery mate is coming out. Yankee Stadium, Jim King is homered in the seventh inning for the Washington Senators. They are still batting in the top of the seventh, leading the New York Yankees by a score of 3-1. Second game, a doubleheader. Pitch to Chacon's a little tight. It rocked him back for ball one. The Washington Senators defeated the Yankees 3-2 in the first game to stop the Yanks' win streak at 9 straight. Pitch to Chacon is high and tight. 2 balls and no strikes. The Mets got their 1 run in the top of the first when Richie Ashburn singled. He moved to second on an infield out by Charlie Neal, and Jim Hickman then singled Ashburn home. 2-0 pitch. Swung on, it's a ground ball. Back of the bag, taken by Casco, and he steps on the bag for the fourth at third to retire the tie. So Helio Chacon has forced Boucher to Casco unassisted and in. The top half of the 6th inning, the New York Mets got no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left. The end of 5 1/2 innings of play. The score is the New York Mets 1 and the Cincinnati Reds 0. And now a word from Viceroy Cigarettes.
I've been out with my truck for a week on the road and was heading on home with a 10-ton load. The trip was long. It felt good to get back. Then I went for a smoke and found an empty pack. I asked for my brand at a diner I know. The man said,
All out of yours. Try these, Joe.
Now, I only smoke filters, but these were too light. Then a cute little waitress set things right. She said,
Viceroy tastes the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong.
Not too light. Viceroy's got
The taste that's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Now I smoke Viceroy, and it must be fate, cause that waitress and I have a wedding date.
Ah, that's right.
So now I know when I'll take all bets. If you smoke all 7 filter cigarettes, you'll find some too strong,
Some too light.
but Viceroy's got
The taste that's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Going now to the bottom half of the 6th inning, and the Cincinnati Reds will send up Leo Cardenas. Pitcher Moe Drabowsky scheduled to follow him, and then Eddie Casco. However, Wally Post is coming out right now to the on-deck circle as a prospective batter for Moe Drabowsky, and Jim Brosnan has already been warmed up. There is no action in the bullpen at the moment, as right-hand batter Leo Cardenas steps into the batter's box. He's been up 1 time. Grounded out pitcher to first. Bob Moorhead, who started the ball game, is the pitcher for the New York Mets, trying to protect a very slim 1-run lead into the bottom half of the 6th inning. And the first pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1. Moorhead goes over to the rosin bag. He has no won or loss record. This is his 4th start of the season. His 27th appearance. Swing and a foul tip off the bat of Cardenas. In the National League race, the Dodgers won this afternoon, and so did the Giants, as they have jointly widened the gap between themselves as the 2 top teams and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Moorhead is set to work. He winds and fires, and the pitch is high and away for a ball. It's 1-2. Lefty Bob Miller is throwing in the bullpen for the Mets. Left-hander Bob Miller. 1-2 pitches, swung on and missed, strike three. Got him on the knuckleball. And that is the fourth strikeout for Moorhead. One away, and Wally Post coming up to bat for Moe Drabowsky. Again, Brosnan is up and throwing in the bullpen. First pitch to Wally Post, and it's in there for a call, strike one. Big right-hand batter. Post has 12 home runs this season. Very popular here at Crosley Field. Moorhead's pitch is high for ball. 1-1. The shadows are lengthening on a sunny Sunday afternoon now at Crosley Field. Here's the 1-1 pitch, low and away for ball two. In the top half of the eighth inning at Yankee Stadium, it's the Washington Senators 3 and the New York Yankees 1. Daniels against Boughton. Swing and a foul ball as Wally Post tipped it back, swinging on the curveball. It's 2-2. Lefty Bob Miller continues to throw in the bullpen for the Mets. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Wally Post. Curveball, he started to go, changed his mind, took it outside. It's 3-2. So it's a full count. Jim Brosnan has completed his warm-up and is walking in now toward the dugout. Here's a payoff pitch to Post. Swung on and fouled back. The count holds at 3-2. New ball comes into play. Bob Moorhead reaches down to get a handful of dirt to rub the gloss off of it. One man out for the Reds, batting in the bottom half of the sixth inning. With the Mets leading by a score of 1-0. Here's a payoff pitch to Post. Outside, he walked him. So the Reds get a base runner on the base on ball, which is the first run given up in this ball game by Bob Moorhead. And it comes with one man out in the sixth inning. We'll bring up Eddie Casco, who is batting leadoff in the batting order. He's been up twice and flied out to center both times. Moorhead turning now, looking around the outfield, goes to the rosin bag. End of the stretch, and the pitch to Casco is sliced into right field, and it's a base hit. Post is on his way to third as Richie Ashburn comes up with the ball. The throw goes to second, runners at first and third. Eddie Casco sliced that one into right field. So with one man out, it'll be left-hand batter Don Blasingame coming up. Chris Cannizzaro, the catcher, has gone out to the mound. Here's the final score in Houston. The St. Louis Cardinals have defeated the Houston Colt 45s by a score of 3-1. For the Cardinals, 3 runs on 7 hits and no errors. For the Colt 45s, 1 run on 7 hits and no errors. Winning pitcher is Bob Gibson, and the losing pitcher is Bob Bruce. Double barrel action in the bullpen of the New York Mets now as Ray Davio gets up to join lefty Bob Miller. Bob Moorhead with his work cut out for him. Runners at first and third. One man out and left-hand batter Don Blasingame at the plate. Keneal playing in on the grass at third, and the pitch is high for ball one. New York Mets leading 1-0. That base hit by Casco was hit number 4. For the Reds, off Bob Moorhead. Ground ball, a comebacker. He has the runner hung up between third and home. Post is being chased down, tagged up by Canizero. Through the third, Chacon puts the tag on him, not in time. And so Casco is moved to third. And on at first is Blasingame on the fielder's choice. It was a comebacker to Moorhead. He had to decide where to make his play, and Post had come down the line, so they had him hung up between third and home. He was out at the plate as Canizero made the tag on him, and then Chacon moved on over ahead of Casco to take the throw, but could not get the tag on Casco in time at third. So their runners at first and third, 2 men out now. And that's still leading by a score of 1-0. Play on post was 1-5-2 if you're scoring. Now Vada Pinson steps into the batter's box. Hit into a double play in the first inning. Single. In the bottom half of the fourth inning, left-hand batter. Moorhead into the stretch position. Runners lead at first and third. The pitch is on the way. It's in the dirt. Canizero blocks it, keeps it out in front of him. It rolls 4 or 5 feet out in front of the plate. There is no advance. Canizero blocking the low pitch. Casco the base runner at third, and Blasingame the base runner at first. Rod Keneal comes into the mound to say a word to Bob Moorhead. Moorhead rubbing up the ball. Kearns now takes off his cap, mops his brow with his forearm. Keneal comes over again and says something else. Moorhead now into the set position, and the pitch to Pinson. Swung on, it's a high fly ball to deep left center field. Hickman back as far as it could go. It's gone for a home run. It's a 3-run homer for Vada Pinson, which puts the Reds out in front here by a score of 3-1. For Vada Pinson, it is his 19th home run of the season. And so with 2 men out now and nobody on base, Jerry Lynch is coming up. Moorhead with the pitch to Lynch in there for a called strike. The Cincinnati Reds have taken the lead for the first time in this ball game here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. It was in the bottom half of the 6th inning of the first game that they took the lead for the first time. This one is popped up over the plate. Canizero gets rid of the mask, and Keneal comes down the line and calls and makes the catch. Rod Keneal charging hard down the line, waved Canizero away, and made the catch himself. So in the bottom half of the 6th, the Reds got 3 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and none left. So at the end of 6 complete innings of play, the score is the Cincinnati Reds 3 and the New York Mets 1. Well, there's still plenty of baseball action on tap at the Polo Grounds in New York the remainder of this season. 17 playing dates at the Polo Grounds when the Mets will be at home during the month of August. including Gil Hatch's night on August 24th, Stan Musial night on August 17th, and tickets are now on sale for those and all future games of the New York Mets. And if you're driving to Met games, keep in mind that the parking lots at Yankee Stadium are open for all home Met games, as well as the parking lots at the Polo Grounds. And now for the Cincinnati Reds, Wally Post is staying in the ballgame in left field. And Jim Brosnan is in as the pitcher. Brosnan has to bat, of course, in the place of Jerry Lynch. And right now, in order to allow our stations to identify themselves, we pause for station identification.
This is WGY Schenectady, where you can hear all the games of the New York Mets.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Bob Murphy and Ralph Kiner at Crosley Field in Cincinnati, where we're going to the top half of the seventh inning. Why don't you light up a Viceroy and find out what we mean when we say Viceroy has got the taste that's right. For the Mets in the top of the seventh, Chris Cannizzaro is going to lead off. Double barrel action continues in the bullpen of the New York Mets. Right-hander Ray Davio, left-hander Bob Miller. Gene Woodling coming out to the on-deck circle. The first pitch to Cannizzaro is swung on and missed for strike one. Woodling's coming out to bat for Moorhead, due up next. Mets trail in this ballgame now for the first time. They had scored their one run at the top of the first and made the one run stand up until the bottom half of the sixth inning. It's a call strike to Cannizzaro. He's 1 for 2 in the ballgame, has been on base twice in this game. He was on an error by Jerry Lynch in the top of the fourth. Bending from the waist, Jim Brosnan looks in, gets the sign. Pitch is swung on and missed, strike three. That is the first strikeout, of course, for Brosnan. Here is Gene Woodling stepping into the batter's box, left-hand batter. Pitch to him is strike one. Moe Drabowsky worked 6 innings in which he gave up 1 run. On 6 hits, he struck out 2 and walked 2. Pitch is high and away. It's 1-1. Drabowsky, of course, is the pitcher of record in this ball game. And Brosnan is trying to save it for him. 1-1 pitch to Woodling. He's in there for a called strike 2. Again the pitch. Hit on the ground to third base, and it's bobbled by Casco. Picks it up, can't find the handle, and on safely at first is Gene Woodling. It is an error on Casco. Manager Casey Stengel, 1 foot up on the top step of the dugout, as Richie Ashburn is coming up now for the New York Mets, with 1 man out and 1 man on. Brosnan into the stretch, and the pitch in there for a call, strike 1. There's a swing and a miss. Strike 2 to Ashburn. We're in the top of the 7th of the second game in Cincinnati. There's a pitch swung on and fouled off. On the roof of the upper deck out of play. Count holds at 2 strikes to Richie Ashburn. Jim Brosnan into the stretch. Woodling leads at first base. The pitch to Ashburn. Swung on as a line drive into left field for a base hit. It's getting on by Wally Post. And on his way to third is Gene Woodling. On his way to second is Richie Ashburn. Both runners holding. It is a single and an error on Wally Post in left. Single and an error on Wally Post in left field. So now the Mets have runners at second and third. The potential tying run is in scoring position at second now. 1 man out, and Charlie Neal due up here. Neal was out there and has been called back to the dugout. And Marv Thornberry is coming out with a bat. A left-hand batter is being sent up here to face right-handed Jim Brosnan. So it is Marv Thornberry batting for Charlie Neal. Wally Post was just left in the lineup by manager Fred Hutchinson as a defensive move. Jerry Lynch was brought out, and Post committed the error there that allowed Gene Woodling to move on to third. He would have made it to second on the base hit, but it allowed him to advance another base, and Ashburn moved from first to second. That was the 7th hit for the Mets in this ball game. Here's Thornberry at the plate. Cincinnati Reds 3 and the New York Mets 1. Jim Brosnan into the windup. Pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 1. Jim Hickman kneeling in the on-deck circle, due up next for the Mets. Brosnan's pitch is high to Thornberry. It's 1-1. Again, the right-hander is set to work. Pitch is coming in, a swing and a foul tip back into the big glove of Johnny Edwards. It's 1-2. Thornberry outside the batter's box, loosening up a little bit. Now comes back in. Brosnan works for the windup. 1-2 pitch. Swung out and missed. Strike 3. Struck him out. So Brosnan has 2 strikeouts for the 2 outs that he has achieved here in the top of the 7th, and Jim Hickman is coming up. Hickman has been up today 4 times officially and has 4 base hits. 2 in the first game. 2 his first 2 times up in this game, and he walked in the 6th inning, so Hickman has been on base all 5 times he's been up today in this doubleheader. Gene Woodling is at third base and Richie Ashburn at second. And the Reds lead the Mets 3-1. Hickman is a tall, rangy right-hand batter. Again, Brosnan works with the windup. The pitch is a called strike. The outside corner. Runners lead at second and third as the pitch is on the way. Swung on and fouled out. Chopped right down into the dirt. It's a strike 2 count to Jim Hickman. Author pitcher Jim Brosnan working in relief here. Frank Thomas talking to umpire Dusty Bogus. Thomas in the on-deck circle had apparently been making a few remarks, and Bogus comes over. say something to Thomas. In the first game, similar circumstances, Vinnie Smith ejected Richie Ashburn from the ball game. All right, here is the pitch to Hickman. Swung on and has a high fly ball down the line and right. It's a foul ball. Into the stands and out of play. Count holds it 2 strikes to Hickman. He could go for the outside pitch to protect the plate there. Hickman relaxed in the batter's box now. He gets set with the pitch on the way. He checked the swing and took it outside for a ball. It's 1-2. Hickman started it and held up in time. Cincinnati defense plays him straight away. Bending from the waist, Brosnan has the sign, nods affirmatively. Waiting Hickman out a little bit. Now the rookie is set. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's outside for a ball. It's 2-2. Two men out, runners lead, second and third. The pitch swung on and belted into left field. Post is coming over on the line. It can't make the catch. It's going all the way to the wall. 1 run is scored. 2 runs have scored. And Hickman pulls up at second base. It is scored as a double for Jim Hickman. It was a line drive. It was not a fly ball. A line drive into left field, hit on the nose. Wally Post ranged over, had both hands up, and the ball passed right on by him and went to the wall. It is a double, 2 runs batted in, and we have a brand new ball game with the score tied 3-3. And Jim Hickman now has had 5 base hits in 5 official times at bat in the doubleheader. Here is Frank Thomas at the plate with the potential go-ahead run on at second now for the Mets. And the first pitch is high to Frank Thomas. The New York Mets battling back here in the top half of the 7th inning. Here's a check swing foul ball backing out of play. Manager Casey Stengel has walked out of the dugout and halfway down toward the bullpen. Pitching coach Red Ruffing has met him down there halfway. And pitching coach Red Ruffing and manager Casey Stengel are discussing the move, doubtless discussing the move for the next half inning. As Ray Davio is up and throwing, and the right-handed Bob Miller is up and throwing, and Roger Craig is up and throwing. Roger Craig throwing now. Here is a swing and a miss. One ball and 2 strikes to count to Thomas. Right now it's Craig and Davio. And Jay Hook is up and throwing also for the New York Mets. Red Ruffing back in the bullpen. Here is a swing and a miss. Strike 3 struck him out. Only Jay Hook and Roger Craig throwing right now in the bullpen for the New York Mets as Frank Thomas has struck out. Brosnan struck out the side. The 3 putouts he got on strikeouts that inning. In the top of the 7th, the New York Mets got 2 runs on 2 hits. There were 2 errors and 1 man left. So at the end of 6.5 innings of play, the score is New York Mets 3 and the Cincinnati Reds 3. And coming up now, a name you'll remember, a song you'll recall.
Anyone with a German name like Helen Traubel knows great beer. And you know what I say? Gib mir kein Silber und kein Gold. Was ich brauch ist ein guter Schluck Rheingold. Reicht das Lagerbier her, nicht so leicht, nicht so schwer. Ruft es super und trinkt Rheingold-Bier. The Germans have a word for it all right. Rheingold. You see, Rheingold is brewed extra dry, the costlier way, longer and slower to give it flavors. It's brisk and bright and clear through. No wonder Rheingold Extra Dry is New York's favorite beer. It's beer as beer should taste. Dry tells you why. My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Think of Rheingold It's not bitter, not sweet, it's the dry flavored treat. Won't you try extra dry Rheingold Peel?
As we go to the bottom half of the seventh inning, the pitcher for the New York Mets is left-hander Bill Hunter, who had already completed his warm-ups when Craig and Hook started throwing. Craig and Hook continue to throw, and Bill Hunter is the pitcher. Now Felix Mantilla is coming to the ball game at second base. You'll recall that Charlie Neal was removed for the pinch hitter. So Felix Mantilla has replaced Charlie Neal, and Mantilla will bat second in the batting order for the New York Mets, and Hunter will bat ninth. Here's Frank Robinson up to lead off for the Cincinnati Reds in the bottom half of the seventh. Left-hander Bill Hunter with the pitch swung on and fouled back. Strike one. Gordon Coleman is on deck for the Cincinnati Reds. Hunter leaning way over to get a sign. Pumps and pitches. There's a swing and a miss by Robinson. It's a two-strike count. Robinson flied to right and grounded out third to first. Jay Hook and Roger Craig still throwing in the bullpen of the New York Mets. Two-strike pitch to Robinson. There's a fastball tight. It's ball one. 1-2. Robinson steps back out of the batter's box for a moment. Now comes back in. The 1-2 pitch is tight, and it's 2-2. Both the pitcher's mound and the home plate area are completely in shadow here now. Center and right fielders still very much in the sunshine, as are the first and second basemen. Robinson standing and waiting now for the 2-2 pitch. It's on the way. Let up, and it's high at 3-2 to Frank Robinson. So we'll have a payoff pitch here from Bill Hunter to Frank Robinson, and here it is. Swung on and popped up over the plate, and Canizaro has called. Canizaro makes the catch. Out in fair territory, down toward third. One away. Gordon Coleman coming up. Struck out and tripled. Pitchers of record in this ballgame, of course, now are Bill Hunter and Jim Brosnan. Score tied 3-3. It's a fastball in there. Call strike one. Call strike two. Manager Fred Hutchinson pacing in the dugout of the Cincinnati Reds. Hunter with the two-strike pitch to Coleman. High and away. It's 1-2. One man out, nobody on base, and the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, it's a high-bounding ground ball. Could be trouble. Mantilla tries to field the ball and comes up with it, but has no play, and Coleman's on at first. Chacon crossed right in front of Mantilla. But Mantilla had it in his glove, made no attempt to throw because there was no play, and it is a base hit. That will bring up Johnny Edwards, who has been up twice, and he grounded out first base to the pitcher covering on both occasions. So Hunter into the stretch position now. Coleman leads off the bag at first, and the pitch to Edwards is low for ball one. Well, hit by Coleman was just a high chop, and there was no way to play it. That's a check swing foul ball back onto the screen, out of play. It's 1-1. Again, we're set for the pitch. Swung, it's a ground ball taken by Boucher. He plays across to Chacon. He's out to throw back to first. He's safe as the return throw was taken by Hunter. They were trying to pull off a 3-6-1 double play. However, Edwards beat the relay. Nice play by Ed Boucher. So with 2 away now, Edwards is the base runner at first. Leo Cardenas is coming up. Batting number 8 in the batting order for the Reds. He was the leadoff man in the first game in the batting order. He has grounded out pitcher to first and struck out swinging. The score is tied here. The Mets 3 and the Reds 3. Hunter is into the set position. Edwards leads at first, and the pitch to Cardenas is low for a ball. At Yankee Stadium, going to the bottom half of the 9th inning, the Washington Senators lead the New York Yankees by a score of 8-1. Boughton started for the Yanks, Arroyo in the 8th, Clevenger in the 9th. Daniels all the way for Washington. King, Hinton, and Daniels have homered for the Washington Senators. Washington won the first game 3-2. Here's a swing and a foul ball off to the right side. It's out of play. One and one to Cardenas. Here's the pitch, swung on and lined out into center field for a base hit. Edwards turns at second and holds on as Jim Hickman comes up with the ball and relays it into Chacon. So there are runners now at first and second, and Wally Post is coming up. He bats number 9 in the batting order. You'll recall he came on as a pinch hitter for Drabowsky and stayed in the ballgame, so he bats number 9. In his pinch hitting appearance, he drew a base on balls. So the Reds have come back here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Get runners on first and second with 2 men out. Here's the pitch to the right-hand batter. Fastball in there for a call, strike one. Both Jay Hook and Roger Craig continue to throw in the bullpen of the Mets. Here's a pitch swung on and missed, and Canizaro lets it roll a few feet away before recovering. There is no advance. It's a 2-strike count to Wally Post at the plate. Johnny Edwards, the base runner at second, and Leo Cardenas, the base runner at first. Swing and a miss. Hunter struck out Post to retire the side. So in the bottom half of the seventh, Cincinnati Reds got no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. So at the end of 7 full innings of play, the score is New York Mets 3 and Cincinnati Reds 3. And right now, let's check scores all around the National League. The San Francisco Giants this afternoon defeated the Pittsburgh Pirates 5-4. Marichal was the winner and Haddock's the loser. Mays got his 28th home run in that ball game. Philippe Ballou home at Jim Davenport home at Jose Pagan home at all for the Giants, and Dick Stewart home at Pittsburgh. St. Louis Cardinals defeated the Houston Colt 45s 3-1 as Bob Gibson was the winner and Bob Bruce the loser. In the first game of a doubleheader, the Milwaukee Braves defeated the Philadelphia Phillies 11-10 as Don Notabart was the winner and Jack Balshin the loser. Henry Aaron had his 26th home run of the season in that ball game. Roy Sievers homered and Tony Gonzalez homered for the Phils, and Roy McMillan also homered for Milwaukee. In the bottom half of the 8th inning of the second game, it is the Milwaukee Braves 5 and the Philadelphia Phillies 2. It is now Ramon pitching against Jack Hamilton. Adcock and Gonzalez have homered in the ball game. In a ball game that was called at the end of the 6th inning of 6.5 innings because of rain, the Los Angeles Dodgers defeated the Chicago Cubs 13-5. Ed Roebuck the winner, Don Cardwell the loser. Home runs by Frank Howard and Larry Burright for the Dodgers, and by Ernie Banks his 24th, and George Altman for the Chicago Cubs. So that's how things have gone in the National League, and right now we are going to the top half of the 8th inning, and coming in here is Ralph Kiner.
Okay, Lindsay, and the first pitch to Ed Boucher is fouled straight back for strike 1. Jim Brosnan in as a relief man in the game. It's his game, the score all tied up at 3-3. Brosnan against Bill Hunter. Long has hit a home run in the 9th inning with 1 on for the Yankees. They still trail by a score of 8-3, bottom half of the 9th. Swing and a foul tip, strike 2. Ed Boucher playing at first base. He is 0 for 3 today. He'll be followed by Rod Keneal, Elias Chacon after Keneal. Final game of this 4-game series coming down to the last few innings. Tie score 3-3. Now the right-hander to Boucher with a breaking pitch, swung on and strike 3. So Brosnan now has struck out all 4 men that he has retired since coming in the game. He has given up 2 runs, but he has picked up 4 outs on strikeouts. And it brings up Rod Keneal. Rod is 0 for 2 in the game, playing at third base. And the first pitch to the right-handed batter is outside and high, ball 1. Jim Brosnan, who relies on the slider more than any other pitch, looking for the sign from John Edwards. Into the big windup and the 1-0 pitch. Hit to center field, a base hit. Coming over, taking the ball on the 4th or 5th hop, Vada Pinson, and Keneal is safe at first base with a base hit. His first of the game, the third given up by Brosnan. And it'll bring up Elias Chacon. Elio 1 for 3 in this game. Batting from the right-hand side. The tie-breaking run at first base. 1 out, the pitcher Jim Brosnan into the stretch. And the first pitch to Chacon. A slider on the outside corner, strike 1. Chris Cannizzaro, the on-deck batter. Now Brosnan back with a 1-strike pitch. The next one is high, and it pops out of the glove of Edwards, but holding at first base, Keneal. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mets scored first in the first inning. Then they had the lead taken away in the 6th when Cincinnati scored 3. But the Mets came back to tie it up in the top of the 7th. Next pitch to Chacon, inside, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike with 1 out. Two balls and 1 strike. Keneal edging off first base. He does not go, and the pitch is hit off the end of the bat down towards second base. Blasingame over to his left. Has to go to first base to get his man. He does. And moving on down the out to second base, Rod Keneal. So a man in scoring position at second, and the batter is Chris Cannizzaro, the catcher. And while we have this opportunity, we'll take this time to pause for station identification.
This is WGY Schenectady, 810 on your radio dial, where the time now is 29 minutes past 7 o'clock. The temperature in the area is 76 degrees.
Ralph Kiner along with Lindsey Nelson and Bob Murphy from Crosley Field in Cincinnati. Score all tied up at 3-3, but the Mets with a runner at second base and 2 outs and Chris Cannizzaro the batter. Warming up in the bullpen for the Mets, Vinegar Ben Mizell and Roger Craig. And the first pitch to Cannizzaro is fouled off to the right for strike 1. Chris singled his first time up. That was safe on a 2-base error by the left fielder, Jerry Lynch. Then he struck out, so he is 1 for 3. Keneal at second base with a short lead, talking to Stan Landis there, now edging on off. He represents a tie-breaking run. And the next pitch to Cannizzaro, outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jim Brosnan, the second pitcher used in this game, now working on the mound for the Reds. The stretch and the pitch back to Cannizzaro. This one drilled deep to right field. Robinson back on the incline. He is there, and he makes the catch. Fine play by Frank Robinson in right field to keep the tie score. That ball deep to right field, 360 feet away, and Robinson took the ball going up the incline, away from the field, just a step away from the fence. In the inning for the Mets, no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors, 1 man left, and the score at the end is 7 1/2 innings of play. The New York Mets 3, the Cincinnati Reds 3. Well, fans, you probably know there are many ways to brew beer. Rheingold takes the long, slow, costly way, the extra dry way. And that explains why there's such a wonderful difference in the taste of Rheingold. Yes, dry tells you why. Tells you why Rheingold is beer as beer should taste. Brisk and bright and clean, clear through. Costly ingredients are one thing, and of course Rheingold has them. But it takes more. It takes the skill of 125 years of brewing experience. The extra dry skill that is Rheingold's alone. And you can measure the difference that dry makes in taste. Rheingold has the happiest taste in beer today. No other beer can quite match it. So it's no wonder that millions say, my beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Wouldn't you rather discover that difference yourself? Enjoy the extra refreshment that comes with Rheingold Extra Dry Beer. Open up or order up fine cold Rheingold right now. Enjoy a glass right along with the game as we move to the bottom of the 8th inning with the score tied at 3-3. And speaking of scores, here's a final. The Washington Senators swept the doubleheader from the New York Yankees, winning the first game 3-2 and the second game 8-3. In that second game, Benny Daniels going all the way, pitching a 10-hitter. The losing pitcher was the starter for the New York Yankees, Jim Bruton. King hitting, Daniels, and Long home runs in the game. And the Yankees, after winning 9 straight, dumped for 2 by the Washington Senators. In the PGA Golf Championship, Gary Player from South Africa, the winner with a 278 score. Bob Golby finished second, 1 stroke behind at 279, followed by George Bear, who had 281. Also, Jack Nicklaus tying with Bear in 3rd place. Doug Ford in 5th place, 282, and Bob Nichols, 283. So Gary Player turning the trick in the PGA. Bottom half of the eighth, the score tied 3-3, and the first batter up against Bill Hunter grounds out to short. Eddie Casco going down on the ground to Elio Chacon. So Hunter, who came in the seventh inning, now working here in the eighth with one man down. And Don Blasingame comes to bat. Don 1 hit and 3 times up, batting from the left-hand side. And Rod Keneal at third base, playing in about 65 feet away from home plate, looking for a possible bunt. And the first pitch by the left-hander is outside, ball 1. Ball getting away from Canizero. The left-handed Bob Miller warming up now, along with the left-handed Wilmer Mizell. Mets have 3 runs on 9 hits. So far, they have out-hit the Cincinnati Reds in every game that they have played. But they have come out on the losing end of all 3 of the first 3 games completed. They have 3 runs on 9 hits right now in this one, and the Reds have 3 runs on 7. Now the pitch back to Blasingame on the corner, strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, the bottom half of the 8th inning. The next pitch to Blasingame swung on and fouled into the lower box seats on the third base side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now Bill Hunter into the windup and back to Blasingame. And the pitch is on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. First strikeout by Hunter. Out number 2 here in the 8th inning, and it brings up Vada Pinson. Check that. It's the second strikeout. He picked up a big strikeout on Wally Post to end the 7th inning with 2 men on base. Here's Vada Pinson. 2 for 3, and the first pitch is hit on the ground to Chacon. He charges in, flips underhand to the first base in time, and that retires the side. In the inning for the Cincinnati Reds, no runs, no hits, no errors, and the score through the 8th inning, all tied up at 3-3. Well, the Mets return home on August 1st against the Philadelphia Phillies. They'll play a night game on that Wednesday night with the Phils, and then a day game the next day. Then the Reds come into town. They haven't been there for a long time, and Cincinnati right now battling away to try to get back in the National League race. Still a chance, at least they believe they have a good chance with the return of Gene Freese. Gene will probably be in the starting lineup for the Reds. They'll play a night game on Friday night, a doubleheader on Saturday and Sunday. And tickets for all of these games, plus the remaining games of the National League season, available at the Polo Grounds 7 days a week over on the 8th Avenue side at the advanced reservation window. Also downtown at the Grand Central Station over by the Vanderbilt stairway there. Also on the Pennsylvania Station in the Long Island waiting room. Ticket reservations may be made at any of the Howard clothing stores in the New York area. Also, 2 big nights to remember. August 17th, Stan Musial night, and August 24th, Gil Hodges night. Now coming to bat for the Mets here in the top of the 9th inning. The score tied 3-3. Joe Christopher. He'll be batting for the pitcher, Bill Hunter. Warming up, Roger Craig and Wilmer Mizell. And on the mound now throwing the first pitch, Jim Brosden. It's a called strike to Christopher, batting from the right-hand side. Pitch back to Joe, a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Christopher, a right-handed batter, leading off here in the top of the ninth inning. And the 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed, strike two. Jim Brosnan came on in the game in the seventh inning. He gave up 2 runs, actually not his fault. A misjudged line drive by Wally Post in left field, giving up the 2 runs. He has struck out 4 and given up 3 hits. There's a pop-up down the right field side. Coming over by the stands, Gordon Coleman. He can't reach it. It goes in the stands. And the count will stay at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's a final score from the coast. The Cleveland Indians broke a 9-game losing streak and defeated the Los Angeles Angels 7-3. Perry, the winning pitcher, the loser, was the starter, Lee, for the Angels. Kirkland, Kindle, and Moran home runs in that one. 7-3 Cleveland. And the Angels missing an opportunity of moving up in the American League race. The next pitch to Christopher, just off the outside corner, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Angels with that loss now 3 games back of the Yankees. They did pick up a half a game with the Yankees' double loss. The next pitch to Christopher, down low, dug out of the dirt by Edwards. A full count now, 3-2. Another final, the Milwaukee Braves swept a doubleheader from Philadelphia, winning the second game 5-2. They won the first 11-10. Winning pitcher Lee Master for the Braves, losing pitcher Green. There's a pop-up but foul out of play, and the count will hold at 3-2. Home runs in that Philadelphia second game, Adcock and Gonzalez. Mets move on to Milwaukee for a night game Tuesday night, game time 8:55 New York time, and a night game on Wednesday night. That game TV'd at 8:55. There's a pop-up to center field by Christopher, moving in and shading from the sun. Vada Pinson, then he makes the catch. Out number 1. And it will bring up Richie Ashburn. Richie has 2 hits and 4 times up. Batting from the left-hand side, and he takes the first pitch, a called strike. Brosnan working on the mound with a record of 3 wins and 1 loss. He is the number 1 right-handed relief pitcher for the 61 National League champions. And he comes back low, 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch to Richie, low for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. All the games completed in Major League play now, except the one right here. And this one 3-3. Top of the 9th inning. Next pitch to Ashburn, inside, ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. On deck batter, Felix Mantilla. He'll be batting for the first time in the game, going in at second base in place of Charlie Neal, who was taken out for a pinch hitter. A windup and the 3-1 pitch by Brosnan. Outside, ball 4. Richie gets first base free, and that'll bring up Felix Mantilla. You know, my beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. How about you? Just about enough time to open up or order up a Rheingold before Mantilla comes to bat. Felix Mantilla, batting from the right-hand side. 1 out, a runner at first base. He represents a tie-breaking run. And the first pitch to Felix, swung on and fouled back on the screen, strike 1. Mets trying to win their first game from the Cincinnati Reds this year. 1 strike pitch to Mantilla outside. A slider. 1 ball, 1 strike. On deck batter, Jim Hickman. Boy, what a day he has had since getting in the game when Ashburn was tossed out. 5 for 5 and a walk to go along. He's been on base 6 consecutive times. There's a bouncy ball to short. A chance for 2. The first one made. Isn't the first base in time for double play? 6 to 4 to 3 to retire the side. And in the inning for the Mets, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 walk, and no one left. And the score at the end of 8 1/2 innings of play. The New York Mets 3, the Cincinnati Reds 3. You know what separates the men from the boys in pro ball? Consistency in the clutch. Yes, day after day, you can count on a real big legger to make the play that's right. And among filter cigarettes, there's one brand you can count on to give you the taste that's right every time. Viceroy. Because Viceroy tastes the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong like some of the filter cigarettes that taste as if they didn't have a filter at all. And not too light, like the weak sisters that filter all the fun and flavor out of smoking. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. That's why I'd like you to put it to the toughest test of all. Smoke all 7 leading filter cigarettes, and I'll bet dollars to donuts you'll find some taste too strong, some taste too light. But Viceroy's got the taste that's right. That's right, my friend. Every time you smoke a Viceroy, you'll know you picked the winner. Viceroy comes in the familiar soft pack or the exclusive new slide top case. And now as we move to the bottom half of the 9th inning, here is Lindsey Nelson.
Thanks very much, Ralph Kiner. Roger Craig is the pitcher for the New York Mets, right-hander Roger Craig. And we're going to have a pinch hitter coming in here for the Cincinnati Reds as pitcher Jim Brosnan is due up. And instead of Brosnan, it's going to be Marty Keogh. As a matter of fact, manager Fred Hutchinson sent out Joe Gaines, who stood there a moment, then went back to the dugout. And Keogh was sent up when Roger Craig came on out for the New York Mets. So it is left-hand batter Marty Keogh stepping in here in the bottom half of the 9th inning as Roger Craig winds and fires, and the pitch is inside for ball 1. Score tied 3-3. Second game of a doubleheader. Dave Sisler throwing in the bullpen now for the Cincinnati Reds with Brosnan out of the ball game. Roger Craig again with the pitch. It is swung out and has a fly ball deep to right center field. Way back. It's going, and it is gone for a home run. And this ball game is over as Roger Craig stands there with his hands on his hip. He threw only 1 pitch, and Marty Keogh hit it out of the ballpark for the run that wins the ball game for the Cincinnati Reds. And now Roger Craig turns and walks dejectedly. Helio Chacon is still frozen in his position at shortstop. He has not moved. He is still looking out into right field. That ball hit well up into the sun deck between the 360 and the 390 signs. And Jim Hickman and Richie Ashburn are walking in slowly now as Keogh hits the first pitch into the bleachers in right field for a home run to win it for the Cincinnati Reds. And so in the bottom half of the 9th inning, there was nobody out when the winning run was scored. We'll be back in a moment with a final summary and totals, but the final score of this ball game, the Cincinnati Reds 4 and the New York Mets 3. You know, fans, you take a look at modern art, and to the average guy like me, well, some of it's pretty difficult to understand. But let me tell you, there is one modern art that's easy to understand, and that's the modern brewer's art as it's practiced at Rheingold. Yes, anyone can understand taste, and Rheingold has a taste that's brisk and bright and clean, clear through. 2 little words, extra dry, tell you why Rheingold tastes so good. Master brewers at Rheingold select only the choicest ingredients, brew them the long, slow, costly way for, well, a modern beer that's truly a masterpiece. Rheingold Extra Dry. It's beer as beer should taste. Dry tells you why. So why don't you enjoy a cool, refreshing glass of Rheingold right now
and enjoy Rheingold with every Mets baseball game. Well, here at Crosley Field in Cincinnati, the Reds have taken a doubleheader from the New York Mets. They have taken the second game in dramatic fashion with a pinch homer by Marty Keough off Roger Craig in the bottom of the ninth. And to tell you something of how they did it throughout the afternoon, here is Ralph Kiner.
Well, in the first game, the Cincinnati Reds won it 11-4 when they scored 6 runs in the 6th inning to take over the lead. The Mets were leading 3-2 at that time. They added 4 more for their 11 runs. They had 11 runs on the 11 hits, made 1 error and left 5 on. Mets had 4 runs on 12 hits, made 2 errors and left 8 on. The winning pitcher was Joe Nuxhall, winning his first game this year in the National League. His record now 1-0. He was just recalled from San Diego in the Pacific Coast League. The losing pitcher was the starter for the Mets, Al Jackson. His record now 4 wins and 12 losses. In the second game, it was a tremendous ball game all the way to the 9th inning. And when Bill Hunter was taken out for a pinch hitter and the Mets failed to score in the top of the 9th inning, the Cincinnati Reds came to bat in the bottom of the 9th, and Casey Stengel sent in Roger Craig, his top pitcher, to pitch in the 9th inning. Craig threw a pitch to a pinch hitter, Marty Keough, batting for Jim Brosnan, who was a pitcher in the game at that time, and Keough hit it deep to right center field for the game-winning home run. Cincinnati 4 runs on 8 hits. They made 3 errors, left 2 men on. The Mets had 3 runs on 9 hits. They made no errors and left 8 men on base. So in the 4 games, the Mets out-hit the Cincinnati Reds in every game, but them all. The Reds sweeping the series, winning the first game 3-1, the second game 5-3, the third game 11-4, and the fourth game 4-3. And the Reds win, holding their position in the National League race at 4th place. They are 10 games back of the Dodgers. The Dodgers won today. Also, the San Francisco Giants winning. They trail the Dodgers by 2 games. Pittsburgh lost to the Giants. They are now 4.5 games back in 3rd place. And that's about the story right here. The winning pitcher, Jim Brosnan, his record 4 wins and 1 loss on the season. The losing pitcher, Roger Craig, he has won 5 and now lost 15 games. Bob Moorhead, the starting pitcher for the Mets, was relieved by Bill Hunter. Moorhead worked 6 innings, gave 3 runs, and he also allowed 5 base hits and struck out 4. Bill Hunter worked 2 innings, gave up no runs and 2 hits. For the Cincinnati Reds, Moe Drabowsky was the starter. He worked 6 innings, and he gave up 1 run in that time, allowing 6 base hits. Brosnan came on, worked 3, gave up 2 runs and 3 hits. Mets move on to Milwaukee. They off day tomorrow, then play the Milwaukee Braves Tuesday night, game time at 8:55 New York time. They'll play another night game on Wednesday night. That game will be on TV and radio, game time 8:55. Close out the series with Milwaukee on Thursday, and move on to St. Louis for a doubleheader on Friday night, a night game Saturday, and a doubleheader on Sunday. And we'll all be on hand to bring you the remaining action on this road trip. Right now, I'd like to remind you to enjoy fine, cold Rheingold. Rheingold Extra Dry. Those 2 little words, extra dry, tell you why Rheingold is preferred by more New Yorkers than any other beer. Enjoy a nice cold, ice-cold glass of good Rheingold Extra Dry. Now, this is Ralph Kiner saying so long for Lindsey Nelson and Bob Murphy, our statistician Joe McDonald, our engineer Bud Bumbaugh, our producer Joe Gallagher, and for Viceroy. Viceroy's not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. That's right. Once again, the Reds winning a doubleheader, 11-4 in the first game and 4-3 in the second game. So long, everybody. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.